How's it going, everyone? Diaboromon here, bringing you guys another Digimon Locals Finals match. Today it is myself on the right, from the Guy Force Gaming mat, playing the Antibody list that I posted on the channel a while back, and then my opponent on the left is playing Diaboromon, as shown by his pretty sick-looking Diaboromon and errata mat. So into the game, my opponent wins the dice roll. Here it looks like they go ahead whiff on the rookie. They just play down the Caramon, which isn't really a bad play even if you do have it as your only rookie. Probably want to get the search off. Here he adds an errata. It's nice to see one of the erratas go to the bottom of the deck, and he grabs an Infamon. But putting me at 3 is pretty good because then I can go into the rookie and then drop the Coda. Now here I do a little misplay. The Coda is supposed to reveal 4 cards. It only reveals 2 or 3. So sorry about that. We are able to grab the Diaboromon off of it. I do not remember what I draw into, but I do already have the Diaboromon. We knew we had it in hand, so it's not really surprising to see that. And then we go ahead, we build up in the back into the Diaboromon. I don't know if my opponent's running stuff like Ultimate Flare. Typical Diaboromon decks will run stuff like Ultimate Flare, and this player in particular has been running stuff like the Iron Fisted Onslaught, so I keep it in raising and then go into the Diaboromon the following turn after my opponent plays the errata, adding a source, deleting that. We are swinging 3 checks here. We do get a little greedy, swinging for the 4 checks because of the Tsunorizumon. We do get a little greedy here, adding the Greymon in the sources instead of maybe saving it for a following turn. But here, my opponent's already going to go to, I don't really have anything that keeps them from going to at least 3 or 4, so I go ahead and I play down the Memory Boost, and past my opponent to 3, they will go up to 4 for the errata, and then my opponent does in fact have the Ultimate Flare, so it will just go ahead, clear my board, and get rid of the big boy that's swinging for multiple checks. So here after the Ultimate Flare, my opponent does put me to 4 memory, so we're able to set up a little bit of a board here. We set up the Diaboromon in the back, we play another Diaboromon, grabbing a Greymon off of the search, and then we go ahead and Digivolve into the Diaboromon. So at this point, this keeps my opponent as little memory as possible. I am going to try to go a little bit more wide just in case they throw down a blocker, but unfortunately here they do have the Mechanorimon, so they have the infinite blocker, so to speak, unless I can get over it. So here I Digivolve into the Greymon, and I make a little bit of a misplay here. I do have the Grumblemon in hand. We saw it off of the Memory Boost search, so I could have technically ended this a little bit earlier, but here I decided to go ahead, add the Alphamon. At this point, I'm able to go into the Diaboromon that I have in hand, but unfortunately, I don't have the Memory Boost or the Antibody in hand to go ahead and delete the Mechanorimon. I was hoping I would draw into it off of the Diaboromon, so I the greed kind of got me there. I wanted to go up into the Diaboromon. We swing in, it does in fact hit the Infamon, so we live. Of course, he's not going to block with the Mechanorimon since the Diaboromon can't really do anything. And then we go ahead, Digivolve into the Shademon. That way we have another body on board with the Grumblemon in hand, so if we bait out something like an Ultimate Flare, we can go up into a level 3 and then into, or a level 5 and then into the Grumblemon, which is exactly what happens. We bait out the Iron Fisted Onslaught, gets rid of that, Digivolve into level 5, Digivolve into the Grumblemon, and then go ahead and end game 1. So on into game 2, you'll notice here that my opponent has some cards underneath his deck. In this situation, this was his mulliganed hand. He just doesn't actually get rid of it and put it right on the bottom right away. He draws his card first. We catch it here in a little bit, so don't worry about it. I start this game off. My opponent does let me go first. We go ahead, we Digivolve all the way in the stack, Tsunorizumon into the Diaboromon, and my opponent just chokes me down at 1, playing the errata. Here we go ahead, tug a source, tug a Diaboromon to gain 2 memory, or gain a memory, putting them at 1. And then here, reluctantly, you can kind of see he thinks about it. He does just go ahead and drop the fist and then put me to 7. So here we just go ahead. I have all the stuff. I wasn't super worried about it. I was kind of hoping to bait out something like that. So we go ahead and we just raise back up into the Diaboromon or Greymon in the back. And then we drop the Tsunorizumon. It's really not going to do much, but in case something ends up being suspended and it gets to stay on the field and I decide not to Evo into it, it does give all of my black Digimon that are 13k or higher piercing, which is really nice. So we pass my opponent over to their 1. Here they decide to go ahead, raise up into the Infamon, so they get to warp into the Infamon, which gives me enough memory to go into the Alphamon on my turn. And we go ahead, swing in. We only pay 1 memory. That way I can maybe choke to keep my opponent at as little memory as possible by gaining the 2 memory at the end of the Alphamon attack. So here is where I'm kind of thinking about what I want to Digivolve into. We go ahead and have the Shademon. It's nice to have the blocker on field just in case he has some way to swing over the Alphamon on a following turn. I know there's not really a good chance he's going to be able to do it because on this turn the best thing he's really going to be able to do is probably go into the blocker Diaboromon, but from the fact that the way that my opponent's kind of reluctant to digivolve at this point or play anything, I'm starting to think that he doesn't have it. You can see he's right here. He does decide to go ahead and digivolve, but the only thing he really has is promo Diaboromon, which does spawn him a token, but at this point he doesn't have blockers, so his security's still looking a little low here because the Alphamon can go ahead and swing in for another 2 checks. So here we go ahead, digivolve into the Chewmon and raising, and do just like I said, we swing in with the Alphamon, we're swinging in 2 checks, decide not to activate the effect. We do want to gain that 2 memory at the end, and I want to be as little bit more memory as possible. Afterwards, I was thinking that maybe that's not the best play, especially with that second errata coming out. If I could have paid 1, I might have been able to memory choke a little bit better. Like I said, with that second errata coming out, my opponent is now going to go up to a decent amount of memory, even if I play another rookie or something like that. So here I'm just trying to think about what I want to do. I am expecting something like an Ultimate Flare or an Iron Fist to come out and deal with this Alphamon. So not really sure exactly how we're going to deal with that on the following turn, but I just decide I go ahead and build up a stack in a little bit. Digivolve into the Nanimon. I don't really have anything better. Nanimon's kind of a meme in this deck just so I can have another security Digimon that might be able to swing. And then we go ahead, drop down the Sonorizamon, passing my opponent over to 4 memory because of the 2 erratas. So here my opponent goes ahead and decides to swing over the Alphamon. Because of the Sunamon in the sources, it is bigger than the Alphamon even with the Dorugomon. I decide to block because here, if he's got the Ultimate Flare, my board's done anyway. He gets rid of the Shademon the same way even if I don't block, so the whole board's gone, so it really doesn't matter when he has the Ultimate Flare. Here he doesn't have any blockers, so we go ahead and raise up the Nanimon, swing in. I don't have the Tamer. A Tamer at this point pretty much solidifies the game, which is why I play the Dorumon here trying to look for a Coda. Unfortunately not hitting it, so we decide to go up into the Dorumon just for a little bit more cycle. I probably could have played another Digimon but would have passed him to a little bit more memory. So at this point I'm really hoping for a luck sack. I have the Grumblemon in hand, and if a Tamer comes out of security, then I'm just golden because he's going to have the bodies on board more than likely to give me a memory even off of something like an Izzy-Jo, which is exactly what happens. First check's Izzy-Jo, second check is a Shademon, which is already terrible for my opponent because even then if I don't have the Grumblemon and he doesn't able to get rid of anything, then I'm able to swing again. Now at this point, my opponent does go ahead, drop the Iron Fist because both of my Digimon are 6 cost wiping the board, but like I said, we got the Grumblemon in hand and we go ahead and take game 2, ending the match 2-0. Alright guys, well that is the match. It was a little quicker match today, I know, but we did get to show off Diaboromon, which isn't something you see a whole lot at the top tables, and this version of X Antibody that doesn't run some of the super expensive card like Zort Defeat. I know Omnimon X isn't super expensive, but it's a little bit of a cheaper version. I have Breath of the Gods and stuff in this list. You'll see it in the deck profile if you go and watch it, even though it didn't show up in this game. But if you guys did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like on the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. We will have more deck profiles, more gameplay videos for sure coming up in the future. Got more ruling videos coming up. When BT8 comes out, you guys are going to really enjoy. Got some good ruling stuff to go over for that one. But all that being said, guys, like I said, thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. If you did enjoy, be sure to subscribe, leave your comment down below, leave a like on the video. And until next time, have a great one.